Just a couple of days out now, Jerry. How do you feel?
I feel excited. I feel that we are positive. The campaign has gone well for us, and I think that we're going to be successful when it comes on November 7th.
Now, you talk about two main things, leadership and experience in your campaign. What kind of experience do you think, as a business owner and of course working with the fort, how has that prepared you to take over the job as mayor?
Well, I think experience says a lot about handling people, dealing with people, problems that arise in your world of business. Anything that has to do with pertaining to business and handling, as I said, with customers, your own employees, issues that come up, whether you're dealing with problems with appliances or you're dealing with problems with trucks and whatnot, you have to have experience in order to know how to handle situations as they come at you. And that's only one way to become a leader, is basically through experience. And experience does teach us the knowledge, does give us the knowledge, does help us to understand and to make better decisions. So as the president of Historic Fort Steuben over the years, I think we have taken the leadership role. We didn't wait for others to come forward. We took the leadership role in many projects that we undertook and have been successful with them. And so, for my opinion, or in my view, leadership through experience and proof of leadership is what we're all about.
What's your relationship been like with the city? Have you found it easy to work with the city government when it comes to getting things together, like the Nutcracker Village and other big undertakings you've had?
Well, we have had a good relationship with the Steubenville City Council and the leaders of the city with anything that we've ever done. They've been very cooperative with us on this Nutcracker Village, the Christmas Parade, the Dean Martin Festival, the Hometown Celebration, anything that we are a part of in downtown. Steubenville has been very supportive, and they are as well this year. They're telling me, Jerry, anything you need to do, can we help you in any way? They're there for us, and that's really helpful. In business, Steubenville has also been gracious to us, being in a retail business for as long as we have. That's what anything and everything is about, is a cooperation with one another. Being able to communicate with one another, being able to say, hey, we need this, or can you provide this, and it happens for you in your business as well as at the fort.
In your opinion, what's the biggest issue facing Steubenville right now?
Image. Image is the biggest issue. With my business, that was always a concern of people coming to, especially into the downtown area. They had an image that maybe it was not the best place to do business or to shop, and that's happened because naturally when businesses left downtown Steubenville and went to the West End, you found businesses closing up and empty storerooms, and therefore when you have that look, it becomes a little bit frightful for people. So the image of who we are and what has happened, it has been an issue for quite some time.
Well, you talk about downtown. How do you further revitalize downtown? You've done a lot in your role as a private citizen, but now you would be a public official, the face of the city of Steubenville. What governmentally do you think you can do to help revitalize downtown?
Well, I would definitely support activities in the downtown. It's been viewed on many webinars that we have attended that activity in your downtown creates jobs because people come to those activities. It's not jobs and business first, it's actually people first. If you can get people downtown on a consistent basis, say roughly 250 days out of 365, people are there. Somebody say, you know, there's a lot of people downtown on a consistent basis. Maybe we could open up that yogurt shop, or maybe we could open up a bicycle shop down there. That kind of activity. Wherever the people are, business wants to be. And that's why when people moved out of the downtown area to the West End, business moved out there with them. Now that people are not as frequent to the mall area because they're shopping elsewhere, mostly online today or other shopping centers, that business seems to be falling as well. So it's moving around. Wherever people are, businesses will follow. So my view, my opinion in downtown is to actually support any business or any activities that are going to take place in downtown in a family-friendly way that will encourage, in time, businesses to follow. So I'm going to do my best to encourage every business that wants to do, every event rather, that wants to do something in the downtown area.
One other big issue that affects the image of downtown, dilapidation. A lot of buildings that are older, they were once great, but now they've fallen into disrepair. The owners maybe don't live locally anymore, and they're not taking care of these buildings. What kind of plans do you have to deal with dilapidation and blight downtown specifically, but also in areas like the Hilltop area, in Ward 2 and other parts of Steubenville?
Well, there's been some success in vacant homes or businesses that to get them to be acquired by somebody that's proactive is to give incentives to those people that would encourage them to occupy a business or a house to revamp them. I've seen in some cases where they've actually, in some cities, have taken homes and actually advertised that they will give an artist $10,000 to move to that community as long as he would revamp the house, keep it up through 5 years, and at the end of 5 years, if it is what it meets the city's requirements, then that home becomes his for free. In other words, instead of paying $15,000 to knock the home down or take the business down, you would give that $10,000 to somebody to redo it rather than destroy it. Now, if it's too far gone or if it's not traceable through whoever owns the property, then you must take it down so that you can not have that blight staring you in the face.
Another big issue, crime. Crime is one of those things that as you said, image. It affects the city's image. And if you mention Steubenville to people who have never been here, that's one of the first things that they think of. When I tell people that I work in Steubenville, they're like, oh, a lot of crime there. I'm like, well, not as much as you might think, but there is that perception that there is. And in many cases there is, especially with the drug activity. So what plans do you have as mayor to help the police force and help the city officials combat this drug epidemic and the crime that comes with it?
Well, thank goodness the city has come up with a task force here just recently under the city manager to have more exposure where crime happens to be occurring, say if it is on the hilltops or possibly in the downtown area. Police exposure, I think, is a huge deterrent for crime to continue to flourish. It's almost like when I taught school, when I was in the classroom, you have 30 kids in this classroom and they're all well behaved as they're in there teaching. But if I were called to the office and left that classroom and was gone probably 15, 20 minutes, on my way back you could hear the commotion that was taking place in the classroom. So what I'm saying is, if you have a police presence on a consistent basis, crime will diminish. It's almost like, again, the police car on the highway. When you're driving at a high rate of speed and you see this police car, you automatically slow down. Doesn't even have to be an officer in the car. So police presence is a huge deterrent for crime, and I think a cleaner place. You can't have garbage and rubbish stacked up in alleys and on the curbs and whatnot, because again, that feeds onto the crime area or the crime scene, as you might say, and better lighting. So police presence, cleaner neighborhoods, lighting, and lots that are empty, we ought to get them cut, keep them cut. Maybe turn a lot over to a neighbor and say, this is your lot, for $100. Maybe you might want to make this a outdoor garden for produce for yourself, or maybe a little play area for a couple neighbors that are in that area where that lot happens to be empty. I think you have to just use innovative ways to address crime. More activity, less crime. Less activity, more crime occurs. So, as I say, it's like downtown. The more activity we have down there, crime just really disappears. The Nutcracker thing really proved that. When we had probably 20 to 25,000 people downtown, I never heard a word about fear. I never heard a word about where can we park. We only hold 20 cars in that parking lot, but the amount of people there just dissolved that issue of fear and crime and parking. It just went away. You want to be there, no matter what, you're going to be there, and that activity just kept the criminal element out of the situation.
We talk about recreation, you talk about activities. Recreation and activities for kids is one of the main topics that kept coming up and coming up during the mayoral debate at EGCC. What would you do to help have more activities for the kids? What are some steps you could take to give them something to do so that maybe they're not getting into crime or into drugs or into the more unsavory things that idle hands?
Well, I think we need to collaborate with churches and schools and other organizations to provide programming for our youth, especially in the summer months when they're out of school. When we were children, we had activities such as baseball that took our time up through the summer months. And we also had play lots where they had maybe a high school senior or maybe a college person that would help monitor this little play lot where we could have activities, playing checkers or playing games. You had somebody overseeing a play lot. And there were a number of them throughout the city. Of course, now most of them have been done away with simply because of the activities not there. But you need to bring, to me, that back. You need to bring churches again, organizations, schools that have programs for youth in the summertime. Otherwise, they're just idle. And I think children respond to having activities in that fashion. You know, as I said, playground lots that have not only just swings and sliding boards, but activity. Playgrounds that have learning how to play chess possibly is another way to advance a child upward. Learning various other games, learning to maybe pick up a language there in the play lot. You know, sometimes a lot of schooling can take place better on a play lot than maybe in a classroom. So I think that with the cooperation with the churches and the schools and organizations such as Kiwanis, we could move forward in helping children in our community, because definitely, especially like in downtown, I've been always trying to get a splash pad for downtown. These children downtown have nowhere to go to get a water relief in the summer months. And of course, you have a pool up on the hill, but downtown there's a lot of children from the south end to the north end, and a splash pad and other activities for them would be very beneficial rather than just roaming around and not having anything to do.
You've got a list of a lot of things you want to do, and all of it costs money. And you've run a business for a long time, so you've had to budget and do everything else. But it's different when you're dealing with taxpayer dollars. So how do you sell these ideas to the taxpayers and to council so that they're willing to spend money on these things?
It's our city. It's our future. We have to take care and do what we can to encourage our children and to prosper, and we have to be conscious of improving the quality of life for all of us. You know, sometimes, like you said, money's the issue, but I'm going to tell you, if it's worth its while, we're going to find the money. Regardless, we may have to take it from some other part, but we have to take care of people. That's what cities are about, people. You know, our fire department, police department, they're serving people. Our schools are serving people. And how you find the money to do this? I'd say this: we're going to find a way to get it no matter what, because it's our, as I said, it's our future. If we don't provide these things, children, families move elsewhere. How do you hold on to a family here without providing the amenities that they want, such as we talked about, recreation, culture, entertainment, restaurants? We want those things where we live. We want those things. We want to be safe where we live. And so we just have to work at that. I just feel strongly about we need to improve the quality of life on a consistent basis for everyone that lives here, whether you live on a hilltop or live downtown or wherever. We're all one city. We're one family here. We're a faith-based city. We have an obligation to one another to do what is best for one another. You know, we are the light for those that live in darkness. That's how I look at it.
You talk about being innovative, and that may mean thinking outside the box, and sort of an outside-the-box industry that may come to Steubenville. Talked about it, marijuana dispensary, medical marijuana dispensary. Now you said it at the debate in Eastern Gateway, you would be for this, correct?
I'm against anything, any drug that's mind-altering. And it's to my understanding with this medical marijuana that they have taken out of this THC chemical that is the mind-altering part of marijuana. And what has been left is another chemical that is supposed to be therapeutic in pain relief. So since the state of Ohio has passed medical marijuana being in Ohio, and City Council did away with the moratorium on on marijuana in the city. So it's not up to me as to say whether it should come or should not come as far as being legalized. So it is legalized in Ohio, and whether it comes to Steubenville, I said yes, that I would be in favor of it coming here, because I feel that if it is beneficial in all that they're saying, and they have proof in many areas that it has been beneficial in pain reduction, then I just don't feel why I should be the person to deny your mother from an item, this medical marijuana, that if it's going to help her in her pain rather than opioids, which could be addictive. They're saying that this marijuana issue, medical marijuana especially, is not as addictive as opioids. So it's really a tough situation. Mind altering, definitely. You know, alcohol, it's mind altering. You know, I'm apprehensive about that. It's sold in stores, grocery stores and whatnot, but we seem to be okay with that. But it's not therapeutic as maybe medical marijuana would be. So I just feel that we should give it a chance to be here, as far as if they want to locate. You know, it's not definitely they're coming to Steubenville. You have limitations on where this facility can be, and but from the medical side, I would feel that I would be comfortable with it.
Now, you've been in the city your entire life. You've done so much for the community in many different aspects, but Mayor it isn't a lifetime achievement award, right? It's something that you have to earn, and you have to beat these very solid candidates that you're running against. So do you think you could bring new ideas and a new energy to the position that's been held by the same person for 25 years, despite being so sort of ingrained in this city yourself?
Well, I think I have proven that I've been pretty innovative in things that has happened, that has happened at the fort. I mean, the last 10 years that I've been president there, I think we've been pretty much innovative to create more activity here. You know, the concerts came about under my leadership. The Nutcracker Village was co-owner or co-part of that situation. The hometown celebration, we took on the Christmas parade. We were in charge of the murals. The mural project was a dead issue when we took it over. They were all fading away, but we've revitalized probably a good 8 or 9 of them out of the 20 that are still standing, and we've added a new one. So I'm always looking to make us a better place. I love to be able to look at something and say, how can we do this better? And what can we do to make this more attractive? How can we have more people come to view this? So I feel that I have shown through works what is good for our city, and what we can do for our city, and what I can do for our city. I just feel strongly about it. I have that. I may not have the other capabilities of being the sharpest pencil in the box, but I feel that I have imagination, I have vision, and I feel I have the drive to move things and make things happen. I mean, I think it's also about connections. Being here a long time, you form connections, you form relationships, you can get things done. I know this past time the Mayor Mucci came to me or talked to me about the wall coming down off of Washington Street being painted. They wanted to get it painted. Where could we get somebody to paint it? Well, I came up with the idea. I said, I can get a painter for you, and it happened for nothing. So those things, as I said, connections and innovation, vision, that's what leadership is about. And you acquire that leadership and vision, I think, over time through experience. I never knew anything, I never could know anything more than my father at my young age, or my mother. They were wiser, had better judgment, they were sound of mind, because I didn't have their experience. Now that I'm my father's and mother's age, I can say that I have acquired that experience in leadership over these years. I didn't have it when I was an early 20-year-old fella. You know, 20 years old is pretty, or 22, whatever the age may be, that's young. And I think it takes anybody who is in a serious position as the mayor of this city needs to have experience and proof of leadership, without a doubt, because times are difficult today. You know, this is a highly competitive market, whether we're shopping in Steubenville or Robinson or St. Clairsville, those are highly competitive markets. And we need to attract people to live here, to want to stay here. You know, you can live in Steubenville but work somewhere. You're only anymore today, a half hour, 45 minutes to the major markets. So you can live here if it's a place where you are comfortable. You're safe here. You have good health system here. You have good school systems here. And we just need to address these issues of the safety issue and the drug issue. But that's a national issue as well. I mean, we're not the only city out there with a drug problem or a crime problem. This is a national issue that many cities across this nation face. But I think with determination, persistence, and the will to win, you know, good will never, evil will never overcome good. Good will always win out in the end. It may take a while to get there, but it's going to happen. Moses didn't get to the promised land in a year or two. It took him 40 years to get there. So that struggle is there, and I enjoy the struggle. I feel that that's the name of the game. When I go to football games, it's wonderful to see a team go from the 20-yard line to make a touchdown in 15 or 20 plays, because it's a struggle to get there. It'd be very boring if you just ran from 20 to the goal line every time they kicked off back and forth, back and forth. It's that challenge and that struggle and determination to get to that goal line. And that's my look at my vision of Steubenville. We're going to get there. We are there. We're on our way, but we're going to continue to improve ourselves here.
Jerry, thank you so much. Good luck on November 7th.
Thank you.